back to my story, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, part 3. If you remember, at the end of part 2, I was just about to stuff the tree up the chimney. Let's continue. Then I stuffed up the food up the chimney with glee. Now grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small noise like the coo of a dog. He turned around fast and saw a small who, little Cindy Lou who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch. Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree, why? But you know that old Grinch, he was so smart and clever. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that just won't light up on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there and I'll bring it back here. Now he's fooled this child and he patted her head. Then he got her a drink and sent her to bed. Now when Cindy Lou went to bed with her cup, he went up the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the logs for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other whose houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other whose mouses. It was 1/4 dawn, all the who's still abed, all the hill who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to tip-top to the dump it. Pooh-pooh to the whoos, he was grinningly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up and know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open in a minute or two. Then the whoos down in Whoville will cry, boo, boo, boo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch. I must simply just hear. So he paused and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising up over the snow. It started in low, but it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. It was so merry very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. For every who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow it came. It just came all the same. And the Grinch with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't thought of before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps comes with a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they'll say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he thought back the toys, and he brought back the toys, and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef. Merry Christmas to you all, Mr. Grinch.